We are locked in. We are continuing with the third part of Death and Rebirth. And the title of this first chapter is Dawnbreaker. I'm so excited, you guys. Breaker. In the early morning, street lamps cast a bright, lonely glow across the snow-covered streets. It makes the city appear deserted. Barely able to keep his eyes open, a boy dozed off in the priority seat. He swayed back and forth during the trip until he finally bumped his head. It was before the bus stopped too. Oh, is this the boy from the Fragmentarium library or something? I think I made that title up. I forgot. Yep, it is. We've arrived at blah blah station. As soon as he gets off the bus, cold wind mixed with snow hits his face. It washes away his drowsiness. Why did they suddenly switch tenses? He rubs his eyes. Upon realizing where he is, his gaze instantly lights up.
17아, 일어나! 우리 도착했어!
You wake up. We've arrived. The journey between the Arctic and Lincoln City spans thousands of kilometers. After several transit changes, he finally returned to his starting point. After hurrying to a secluded bench and making sure no one's around, the boy carefully sets down his backpack and gives it an admonishing pat.
드디어 돌아왔네.
We're finally back.
이번엔 멋대로 돌아다니면 안 돼?
And this time, you're not allowed to run off.
어쨌든 신원자님을 찾기 전까진 예전처럼 사람이 많은 곳에선 강아지인 척하는 거야.
Until we find the emissary, just pretend to be a regular dog when there are a lot of people around.
사람들이 좋아하는 털복숭이 말이야. 뭔지 알지? 이따 악수랑 돌기 연습도 한 번 더 하자.
People love fluffy things. Do you understand? We'll practice paw shaking later. The boy waits for a long while, but there's no response from the backpack. I wonder who voices this boy.
싫어?
Did she? Do you not want to? With a growing sense of dread, he unzips the backpack only to find a hole and a few tangled tufts of white fur. The wind whistles through the gap. Oh no, he lost the dog. Or I guess whatever Shichi is. Two days later, studying the document Zane gave her, she searches through every library and archive in Lincoln City. She tries her best to uncover the information about cosmic civilizations hidden in the biometric key, but every search has come up empty. Several days of running around have taught her one thing, though. Unlocking the key secrets won't be something she can accomplish overnight. But right now, something else has caught her attention. Oh no, what's our MC up to?
이들은 겉모습은 인간의 특징을 유지하고 있지만 의식이 침식돼 공격 본능만 남은 특수 병변이야.
Okay. There are cases where the subjects retain a human's physical features, but their consciousness has been eroded. Only primitive aggression and instincts remain.
우리는 일단 이들을 변이자라고 부르기로 했어.
For now, we'll call them the Altera.
이 변이자들에게 공통적인 특징이 있는데 모두 코어병 진단을 받은 적이 있다는 거야.
These Alterums share one common characteristic. They were diagnosed with protocore syndrome. So, did they change into these specific wanders, the Alterum, after having protocore syndrome? Meaning, like what Zane witnessed and what's happening in Dawnbreaker's universe, right? These humans are changing into wanders. No. Protocore syndrome. 2 days ago, she received an unexpected message from Zane at midnight. It was long after they parted ways. I have to go on a business trip. It's not dangerous, but we might not be able to contact each other for a while. Don't worry. P.S. I'm not going to Mount Eternal. How did we all thought that's where he was headed to, right? These sudden announcements had become the norm. She scrolled through her emojis and sent back a happy snowman with ellipses above its head. The words protocore syndrome act like a signal. They connect her earlier suspicion, create a clear pattern. This is under Zane's field of expertise. Did his sudden departure be connected to these Altera? The description of the Alterum reminds her of those so-called specimens she encountered in Skyhaven. Yeah, that's true! The people that were infected and then turned into monsters. Ugh. Oh, that was a bad memory. Well, the With the Alterum appearing in Lincoln City, does this mean the fountain of Ate has entered another?
근데 커뮤니티 소식을 보면 요 며칠 동안 경찰이 출동하기 전에 정체모를 말살자가 나타나서
But in these community posts, a mysterious figure has appeared these past few days. They strike before the police do, and their codename is apparently Dawnbreaker. Oh, wait a minute! Dawnbreaker is in this reality now. Wait, oh my, what is happening? Wait, like just full on Dawn. Did he take over Zane's body then? That's a big deal.
매번 경찰보다 먼저 변이자들을 처리했대요.
They manage to deal with the Alterum before the police arrive each time.
잠깐, 말살자는 또 뭐야? 새로운 도시 전설인가?
Wait, what did you just say? Is this another urban legend?
집중.
Focus. Then it interrupts the off-topic discussion. The virtual display switches to show some photos from a crime scene.
며칠간 변이자 습격 사건이 여러 차례 발생해 경찰 측에서 현장의 이상 에너지를 조사할 헌터가 한 명 필요하다고 해.
For these recent Alterum attacks, the police need a hunter to investigate and detect metaflux reading. Or specifically, they need a hunter who can detect metaflux reading.
가고 싶은 사람?
Anybody want? Thinking these clues might help Zane, she raises her hand without hesitation. I'll go, Captain. Oh dear. Things are getting exciting. Fine. I can't believe actual Dawnbreaker has appeared in this universe at last. Northern Ring Road. After receiving assistance credentials for her investigation, she heads to Northern Ring Road that's located in the downtown area. A detective lifts the barricade tape and approaches her. After they shake hands, he leads her to the crime scene.
눈도 오는데 고생이 많으시군요.
Thanks for coming out even in the snow. I'd like to say the same thing to everyone else who's here. She sets up the precision scanner she brought on the ground and turns it on. Once the scan is complete, the data will be uploaded to the cloud that the association can access, and a detailed report will be generated for police.
마침 CCTV 영상도 일부 복원돼서 전송받았으니 같이 보시죠.
We've received the restored surveillance footage, or CCTV footage, so let's look at it together.
다만 이 구간 CCTV 장비가 저온으로 인해 손상돼서 복원 상태가 그다지 좋지 않습니다. 이해해 주세요.
The surveillance equipment was damaged by the cold, so the video quality isn't all that great. Please understand. I thought Lincoln City's outdoor surveillance systems were designed to withstand low temperatures.
당시 기온이 장비가 견딜 수 있는 한계보다 훨씬 낮았어요. 자연적인 원인으로 발생한 손상이 아닌 거죠.
The temperature dropped far below the equipment's tolerance threshold. You can say that the damage wasn't caused by natural means. In the low quality footage the detective hands her, she manages to spot an unsettling figure lurking in the darkness. The creature's form is distorted. Weapons that look like hooked tendrils grow from its body. Ew! Compared to the one she's encountered before, they seem to have grown significantly stronger. What about Dawnbreaker? Did you catch them on camera? The detective shakes his head.
킬러는 워낙 용의주도 하고 민첩해서 어느 화면에도 잡히지 않았어요.
They managed to avoid being caught on the surveillance system. Quite efficient. As she approaches the damaged guardrail by the road, her hunter's watch immediately starts blaring an alarm. The initial metaflux readings are extremely high. The Alterum is already similar to a wonder.
그렇다면 이 변이자들을 죽여서 유랑체로 변해버리는 걸 막은 그 킬러는
If that's the case, we should deal with these Alterum before they completely degenerate into wonders.
오히려 영웅이라고도 할 수 있겠군요.
Perhaps the serial killer is actually a hero. The detective gives her a contemplative look.
그런데 헌터 입장에서는
But from a hunter's perspective,
이 변이자들을 사람이라고 생각하세요? 아니면 유랑체와 같이 없애야 하는 괴물이라고 생각하세요?
do you think that the Alterum are humans, or do you think that they're monsters that need to be destroyed? Depends. The line between humans and monsters depends on whether they've lost their control. Once someone loses control, they become a monster capable of hurting others. It doesn't matter how prestigious their status might be.
많은 생각이 들게 하는 대답이군요.
A thought-provoking answer. I wonder what answer you get if you choose any of the other ones, but I think that was the best answer. Because I don't know. There is a point of no return, isn't there? The sharp wail of an ambulance siren cuts through the wind and snow. It grows louder as it approaches. They both look up, their gazes following.
이해랑 친구, 변이죠. 딥스페이스 터널. 가끔은 내가 현실이 아닌 세상에 살고 있는 건 아닌지 의심이 들어요.
Wanderers Alterum the Deep Space Tunnel. Sometimes I suspect that the world I'm living in is too fantastical. That was a bit of a meta comment, right?
스페이스 재앙보다 더 심각한 재난이 닥친다면 인간들이 할 수 있는 일이 얼마나 될까요?
If a disaster occurs that's worse than the Chrono Rift catastrophe, then what could humanity really do? So the authorities are covering this up and classifying as an accident. They must be trying to prevent the public from becoming even more panicked. He nods before shaking his head.
공포감을 불러일으키는 건 이 킬러가 아니라 변이자들이죠.
Ooh. The Alterum will not cause murder, but a panic. Seeing her confusion, he smiles.
피로 물든 킬러가 이 괴물 같은 별종들보단 훨씬 친근하지 않아요?
A bloodstained murder is more relatable than these abominations, right? Maybe she's overthinking it, but something about this detective seems off. He has been acting a little weird. He's been asking some strange questions. In any case, the association will provide the police with a formal energy analysis report. I should get going now. On her way home, she opens the forum post that Tara sent her a few minutes ago. It's about Dawnbreaker. Urban mysteries. Let's expose the truth about the mysterious killer who only appears in snowy dawns. Dawnbreaker. Has anyone else noticed that the Alterum in Lincoln City have been slowly disappearing these past few days? That's because a mysterious killer has appeared in Lincoln City, the Dawnbreaker. They appear between dawn and sunrise, vanishing without a trace at daybreak, hunting Alterum ahead of the police. Inside scoop, 100% legit information, but don't ask me which insider. I can't say more. The sources trust me, bro. Okay, comments. Missing you in Lincoln. No way this is real. My uncle works as a dispatcher at the Hunters Center, and he's never mentioned anything like this. Escape from Earth at night. Sends a reply to missing you in Lincoln. The last 10 people who claim to have insider uncles already got cease and desist letters. Want to be next in line? A dawn shift ender. Those Alterum things are just way too terrifying. Getting rid of them quickly is definitely for the best. 4-day worker to be. LOL fake. OP's probably just some writer hired by the site for clicks. I feel like some of this, the tone is like, alright, you know? It's kind of how like these things sound like online. Dawnbreaker. The Alterum and Dawnbreaker. These names sound like links in a food chain, destined to exist in a perpetual cycle, predator and prey. Those monsters, come to think of it, I'm not so different from them. Will there come a day when others will try to erase my existence? Girl, someone literally just tried to erase your existence. Did you forget the attempted murder? As this crosses her mind again, she finds herself strangely at peace. What was that? She hears a strange noise behind her. When she turns around, she notices no paw prints on the ground. She found Shichi! What kind of animal left these? A squirrel, maybe? Or a stray dog? Confused, she stands there, but then a white blur darts past her periphery. Her scarf suddenly tightens around her neck before vanishing. When she comes to her senses, all that's left in the snow is a chaotic trail of footprints. The white blur has already vanished into the darkness around the street corner. My scarf! In the run-down, gloomy alleyway, only scattered spots of light fall upon the snow-covered ground. A dead end. It took my scarf, too. Where did it go? Snow falls silently. Her surroundings are so quiet that even the sound of breathing seems jarring.
날 다시 고치에 가두려고? 난 절대 안 돌아갈 거야.
Are you going to drag me back to the cocoon? I won't return.
아니, 넌 그 말살자지.
No, you're Dawnbreaker, aren't you?
나 좀 죽여줘.
Please kill me. Dawnbreaker? Her heart races as she holds her breath and silently moves forward. As soon as she turns the corner, she raises her gun at the shadowy figure. Zane?
너
We knew, but poor her. You... In the dim light, several objects coldly flash from the figure's palm. They're ice shards, and they've pinned the teenager's sleeves and pant legs to the wall. Black crystals cover the teenager's arm and neck, but he's different from the test subjects that she encountered in Skyhaven. The realization hits her. He's an Alterum.
죽여달라고는 했지만 이렇게 잔인하게.
I did say you could kill me,
조용히 있는 게 좋을 거야.
but to torture me like this. I'll silence you. Voice. She freezes upon hearing a familiar voice and moves her finger away from the trigger. Wait, hang on, listen to this. He did sound different though.
조용히 있는 게 좋을 거야.
Oh, sorry. He didn't say I'll quiet you. He says, yeah, I suggest that you be quiet.
조용히 있는 게 좋을 거야.
It's obviously it's the same voice actor, but he does sound like different. The tone is just a little bit different. Because usually Zane speaks to us and it's very gentle. In that split second, a sharp ice shard cuts through the air. It barely misses her cheek. Zane would never. Oh my gosh. Scary. Dawnbreaker, like the Grim Reaper, turns to face her. With cold indifference, he meets her gaze. Zane? Oh, we're doing Love in Deepspace? We're meeting Dawnbreaker and he doesn't recognize her. Well, I mean, obviously, because he's not Zane. He's taken over Zane's body. The white creature that had vanished into the snowy night suddenly appears from out of nowhere. It jumps onto Zane. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is huge. Okay. Hypothermia. Taking advantage of Zane being momentarily distracted, the teenager breaks free from his restraints and pulls out a knife from his waist. With desperate wild eyes, he lunges at him. But his wrist is caught and twisted again. The cracking of a dislocated bone echoes through the alley.
방금 말한 코치가 뭐지?
What is this cocoon that you mentioned?
알아서 뭐하게.
What will you do if you know that? As if the word cocoon was buried into his nerves, the teenager suddenly jerks away. He clutches his crystallized left arm as he frantically runs to hide behind her. Spotting her gun, he forcefully grabs her hand and turns it. The barrel?
거면 날 그냥 보내줘. 가까이 오지 마.
I guess the barrel is pointed at Zane. If you're not gonna kill me, then just go. Don't get any closer. A flicker of surprise appears in Zane's eyes, but that moment of uncertainty quickly fades and his usual coldness returns. Zane, why are you here? Zane, who should be away on a business trip, is in a remote alleyway in the middle of the night with an Alterum teenager. And he's addressed as Dawnbreaker, too. Something isn't right. Questions pile up on one after another in her mind as she assesses the situation. She slowly tries to free her hand from the teenager's grip.
당신들.
You two.
넌 아직 죽어야 할 정도는 아니야.
Oh, you're not at the point where you need to die. Zane and she speak almost at the same time. She's once again taken aback by the coldness in his voice.
하지만 오늘 밤이 지나면 또 모르지.
But after tonight, I don't know. That might change.
결정이 네 몸을 침식해 피부가 갈라지고 뼈도 으스러질 테니까.
The crystals will erode your body, your skin will be split open, and your bones will be ground to dust. Oh my god, that sounds awful.
목까지 번지면 목소리도 안 나오고.
When it reaches your neck, even your voice will come
고통스러운
out.
비명을 아무도 들을 수 없을 거야.
No one will hear you scream. Okay. Man, this game is sometimes very vivid with its descriptions of gore. The person she's met before is the same one standing before her, yet this version of Zane feels like a stranger. His voice is cold, his gaze is cold, even his breath is the epitome of coldness. Something seems to trigger a memory in the teenager. His voice trembles as his body curls like a bow being drawn back. He buries his face into his knees.
당신 말이 맞아.
You're right.
그들은 고체에서 나온 뒤에 전부 그렇게 죽었어.
After emerging from their cocoons, they did all die like that. Hmm?
난 살고 싶어.
I want to live.
하지만 괴물로 변한다면 살아서 뭐해?
But if I change into a monster, then what's the point?
고체에서 산송장 같은 괴물이 되느니 차라리 죽는 게 나아.
Rather than the cocoon turning me into a mindless monster, I'd rather die. Yeah, man. This game is dark. Zane remains silent and he lowers his gaze as ice crystals silently form in his palm. Is he really gonna do this?
존엄사 같은 건 없어.
A dignified death doesn't exist.
죽음을 선택하면 모든 걸 통제할 수 있다고 생각하나 본데. 그건 자기 위안을 위한 거짓말에 불과해.
Thinking that you're in control of the situation because you're choosing to die. That's just a lie that you use to comfort yourself.
죽으려고 도망쳐 나온 건가?
Did you escape just so you could die?
쓸데없는 소리 하지 마.
Stop talking nonsense. The teenager straightens up and lunges at her again, his hands trembling uncontrollably. Yet he grips her gun with all his strength, refusing to let go.
당신 헌터지.
You're a hunter, right?
헌터 총으로 나 같은 괴물도 쏴 죽일 수 있잖아.
A hunter's gun could kill a monster like me,
어서 쏴!
right? Just shoot. You can't be serious. With a flick of her wrist, she tosses the hunter firearm away and kicks it out of reach. The teenager desperately lunges for the firearm, but Zane catches him by the waist and pins him against the wall. Stay calm. Focus on my breathing. Exhale, inhale. Poor guy. The poor teen. You're trembling.
난
I know you don't really want to die, so stop saying it. After several seconds pass, the teenager finally comes to his senses. He nods, as if emerging from a trance. He steals a glance at Zane. His expression is completely serene and unmoved. It's as if he's an aloof observer standing at the crossroads between life and death. She moves closer to Zane, firmly holds his hand in place, and gives the teenager a gentle smile. You heard what he said, right? He said you can't die yet. He's the best cardiac surgeon in the city. He says there's hope for you, then you can be optimistic about the future. Oh my gosh. I wonder what Dawnbreaker is thinking in that moment. Probably like, I'm only a surgeon in my dreams.
저런 사람이 의사라고?
That kind of guy is a doctor? I know he may not look the part right now, but he really is the best in his field. Just don't misunderstand his intentions. You need to go, now. The teenager freezes for a moment. As soon as Zane shifts his foot ever so slightly, the teenager spins around and runs away. Oh man. This is crazy. I did not expect we would be like this fast just running into Dawnbreaker. Late into the night, the streets gradually darken. The light reflected off the snow makes streetlights appear soft and dim. After watching the teenager leave, she turns back to look at Zane, who feels like a stranger. The small animal of an unknown breed stubbornly refuses to let go of his coat. It whimpers as he pushes it to the ground again. Now it's just the two of us. And this dog? Anyway, you can tell me what's going on, right? Did your business trip end early, or did Oxo Hospital call you back for an emergency? While she's still asking questions, Zane bends down to pick up the snow-covered scarf. Then he stares at her as if trying to confirm something.
이거 네 거야?
Is this yours? Who came up with this story? I don't know, man. But they're very interested in sci-fi. If I remember correctly, this is the scarf you knit. No, picked out 3 days ago. Oh, right. I forgot. This is why, like, it's a bad idea for me to, like, do these stories with huge breaks between them, but I just don't have the time. But yeah, he did give her a scarf. It's the same one.
그럼 내 거네.
Oh, then it's mine. Team Z? No, this is a really good story. It's not as crazy. This is a pretty good story. I like how you said that, especially if you consider that it's not Zane. Like, if it was Zane, it would sound like he's teasing her, but...
그럼 내 거네.
I don't know, I just liked it. As soon as he says this, Zane walks right past her. You don't know me? Why are you suddenly acting like you don't know me?
내가 널 알아야 하나?
Should I know you?
더 할 말 없으면 이만.
If there's nothing left, then I'll leave. But your home isn't there.
알아.
I know. He stops in the snow and gives her a cold glance over his shoulder. His voice is devoid of any emotion. Does he not recognize?
이 방향이야.
The subway station is this way. Does he not recognize? Does Dawnbreaker not recognize her from his dreams either? I'm confused because I thought he saw her in his dreams, where he's Zane. She's following after him, right? No way she's just leaving him. On the empty street, their footsteps crunch in the soft snow. With his tall stature and long legs, Zane strides quickly and widens the distance. She has no idea where he's heading or why he's acting like he forgot who she is. All she can do is quicken her pace to catch up with him. Zane, answer me. She steps in front of him to block his path. A mix of frustration and disbelief makes her chest tighten.
왜 그래?
What's wrong? That's my line. Has your eval gone out of control again? The puppy whose species she doesn't recognize catches up to them. Its gaze splits between him and her.
아니, 난 멀쩡해.
No, I'm perfectly fine. Zink casually brushes past her and continues.
길거리에서 커플이 헤어지려나 봐.
It seems like a couple is breaking up in the middle of the street. I guess it does kind of look like that, huh? Oh no. It does look like he's trying to break up with her and she's not letting go. That's so sad. Have you guys ever witnessed like public breakups? Oh my gosh. There's like a McDonald's, I think, in I want to say Sinchon or Hongdae where that happens. The puppy quickly shakes the snow off its body, gives her a sympathetic look, and then runs after Zane, who's already walking over. Yeah. Awkward, right? The two figures soon become dots, and whether it's because of frustration or anger, she stubbornly walks away without looking back. But after a few steps, she feels like something is wrong. Wait, the direction Zane's heading in. Rainhurst's story. It is a story you do have to be like following in order to, I think, understand. So you're probably also lost because you might not remember all of the lore and stuff. Surprisingly, I am keeping up because I know who Dawnbreaker is. Her heart races as she quickly follows the footprints in the snow. Zane lies unconscious on the ground, his brows tightly knitted as if darkness is dragging him down. Oh god, he passed out. Zane? Wait, does that mean that Zane is coming back? She crouches and shakes shoulders, but he doesn't respond no matter what she does. Oh no. You can't just leave him like this. Yeah, don't leave your boyfriend out in the street. In the freezing cold. She tries to help Zane up. As her fingers brush against his neck, she feels a layer of frost. His evil! It's unnaturally black! Could this be related to his nightmares again? A heavy sense of foreboding weighs on her mind, but getting him out of here comes first. She struggles to support Zane's weight as she drags him along one step at a time. Why was he talking about taking the subway? This path actually leads to my apartment complex. Ooh, interesting. In the dream. Okay. With his weight pressing against her shoulder, even a usually short walk home feels endless. Zane and she practically collapse onto the bed together. The snow from their coats scatter onto the floor. The little white animal anxiously bounces back and forth on the sofa. She picks it up and gently shakes Zane. Yep. His eyes remain closed. A streak of black silently emerges from his sleeve and creeps along his veins until it reaches the back of his hand. The black ice that appeared on his neck has already spread to this area. I need to wake him up from this dream. She reaches out toward the side of Zane's neck and gathers her power. Oh, time to resonate. Almost instantly, she senses the chaotic surging power raging throughout Zane's body. Like a force that's been suppressed for eons and is now finally breaking free. That seems like it's revealing. A bone-chilling cold surges forth. It makes her entire body shudder. You know, with the ice taking over him, it feels like when he was being tortured by Astra in that myth. So I wonder if this is like some sort of punishment. The power within his body is unstable. That's why he's lost consciousness. At that moment, Zane's eyes snap open and he grabs her wrist.
나한테 무슨 짓을 하려고?
What are you trying to do to me? He grabs her hand and pins it. Encased in ice, her wrist is already stuck to the wall when she realizes what's happening. She takes several deep breaths to compose herself. I'm trying to help you treat the black ice. When did it start appearing?
꿈속에서부터.
In my dream. He lets go of her wrist and the ice crystals dissolve with it. Guess there's no point in asking. To her surprise, the black frost didn't disappear after the resonance. It stubbornly remains on his body. Nevertheless, Zane appears much better than before. Remembering how cold he felt, she takes out a thermometer to check Zane's temperature.
폭탄의 환경이 감지되었습니다. 기계를 보호하기 위해 1분 전에 자동 종료되었습니다.
Are you serious? Oh my god. Extremely low temperature detected. To protect this device and extend its life service, the system will be automatically turned off in 1 minute. I see. That's why the CCTV keeps turning off. But also, he turned off the thermometer. The reason for the extremely low temperature isn't concern and tries to prop himself up. Seeing this, she pulls out an old-fashioned infrared thermometer and aims it at him. Freeze! She presses the sensor against his forehead and playfully pulls the trigger. She's so cute. Sometimes she's so silly.
유치해.
How childish. As expected, he doesn't move. Beep. Lost in a thought, she stares at the screen showing his abnormally low temperature. No wonder all those surveillance cameras at the crime scene were damaged by extreme cold. Even though she's not sure if it'll help, she takes out 2 fever pills and hands them to Zane along with a glass of warm water.
이건 약이잖아.
This is medicine, isn't it?
너무 써. 안 먹을래.
It's too bitter. I'm not eating it. Now who's the childish one? You're a doctor. You of all people can't complain about bitter medicine. For what must be the first time in his life, Zane's face shows an expression that can only be described as okay and? Wait, what is that expression? Show us on the face, please. Not knowing how to help him recover, she heads to the kitchen and makes a fresh carrot juice. She doubts that it'll do anything, though. Drink this instead. It's your favorite. He hates carrot juice. Oh my god. Or hates carrots.
네가 내 취향을 그렇게 잘 알아?
You know my preferences that well? Zane seems genuinely thirsty. He takes that glass, hesitates for a moment, and then chugs it in one go. Oh, that was cute. Well, do you want to give a more detailed review this time? He meets her gaze as the entire glass of carrot juice turns into a solid column of ice in his hand.
맛없어.
Disgusting. I see your hatred for carrots is written into your DNA. Yeah, it looks like no matter who he is, he hates carrots. Okay, good to know. Me too, Zane, me too. As the night deepens, the hustle and bustle outside her window gradually fades into silence. She gathers every blanket and quilt in the house to stack on top of Zane. Then she cranks her heater up.
말했잖아.
I already told
안
you,
추워.
I'm not cold.
그러니까 입을 좀 치워.
So clean up these blankets. Why don't you take them off yourself?
힘이 없어.
I don't have the strength. Oh. Then don't move. He purses his lips only to furrow his brow a moment later.
아까부터 나를 엄청 걱정하는 것 같은데.
You seem to have been very worried about me for a while now.
무슨 이유라도 있어?
Is there a reason? You're important to me. You. Uncertainty flickers in his... He really doesn't recognize her. I'm not talking about Zane. I do mean Dawnbreaker.
무슨 말을 하는 건지 모르겠어.
I don't know what you're talking about. She doesn't want him to see her expression, so this is so sad. Damn it, now I'm sad. The real reason is simple, actually. When he falls silent, she pushes away her chaotic thoughts and turns his cold face towards her. Dawnbreaker, very famous. So don't you dare run away or disobey me, or else I'll...
어쩔 건데?
You'll what? He asked softly. His chin is still tilted up by her hand as his gaze falls to meet her. I'll make sure you won't live to see tomorrow's dawn. He yanks the blanket up to block his voice and gaze in the darkness.
네가 말한 상황이 서원이한테 처음 일어난 일은 아니야.
What you're talking about, it's actually not the first time this has happened to him.
녀석이랑 장항산에서 연구할 때 나도 한 번 본 적이 있어.
I've also seen it once when he was doing research with me at Mount Eternal.
하룻밤 사이에 완전히 낯설게 변했었지. 아무도 그 녀석한테 무슨 일이 생긴 건지 몰랐어.
He became a complete stranger overnight, and no one knew what had happened to him. He figured this wasn't the first time Zane had been in the state. Dr. Noah's words only confirmed her suspicion. How did he recover from it?
그건 서원이 그 녀석만 알 거다.
That's something only he knows. Over the phone, Dr. Noah sounds just as troubled as her.
그때 서원이는 혼자 장항산 깊숙이 들어갔어. 뭔가 할 일이 있어 보였지.
Back then, he ventured deep into Mount Eternal by himself. It seemed that he had something to do there.
다음 날 보니까 우리가 알던 모습으로 돌아와 있었고.
When we saw him the next day, he had returned to his usual self.
아마 할 일을 끝낸 거였을 거야.
Perhaps whatever he needed to do was done. Mount Eternal. That place seems to be hiding a burden that Zane has never been willing to speak of. But her intuition tells her that whatever changed in Zane must have happened before Mount Eternal incident. Those black ice crystals, seemingly out of reach, they linger somewhere in the depths of her. Would Dawnbreaker emerge that young? When she opens the door again, she finds a ball of white fur sitting by her bed. It's wagging its tail at her. Did you sneak in? As she gets closer, she notices the creature is contained within a semi-transparent dome made from the icy bowl. It restricts its movement. She doesn't even need to ask who did this. Zane really doesn't show mercy, huh? The puppy-like animal lets out what sounds like a bark of agreement. She reaches out to dispel the evil ice barrier. Then she sits down with the creature in her arms. Now closer to Zane, she can see his eyelashes trembling in his deep. They're like the wings of a weary bird that's finally resting. I don't know what you're dreaming about, but I hope sweet dreams. Good night, Zane. If Dawnbreaker is here, is Zane in his world right now? And what is happening? In the stillness of the night, only the white creature notices a faint sound. A subtle energy seems to be flowing. The white animal's ears twitch as it looks up at Zane and the girls joined. The cold, corrosive sensation gradually fades. A warmth surges through Zane's cold fingertips, like water traveling through a leaf. For this soul that's been trapped in nightmares for so long, unmelting black ice covering his body finally recedes.
변이자와 정체불명의 킬러에 대한 조사가 진행 중입니다.
The investigation into the Alterum and the unidentified suspect is still ongoing.
시민 여러분께서는 각별히 주의하시어 근거 없는 소문을 믿지 마시고 늦은 밤 혼자 외출하는 것을 삼가시길 바랍니다.
We urge all citizens to remain vigilant, avoid spreading rumors, and exercise caution when traveling alone at night. already the next morning when she wakes up. Groggy, she props herself up and presses her temples to clear her mind. Beside her, Zane is still asleep. It's a rare sight at this time. She leans closer and slowly becomes aware of his steady breathing. She watches as it slightly stirs the fabric across his chest. Poke. This is payback for making me haul you home through the heavy snow yesterday. Poke. That's for freezing my hand to the wall. Holding back her laughter, she gives Zane's nose a gentle pinch. It really hurt when you froze my wrist, so I'll pinch your nose for that.
너 자는 사람한테 마음대로 하는 걸 좋아하는구나.
Do you enjoy messing with people as they're sleeping? Or messing with sleeping people? She feels his warm breath on the top of her head. Her breath hitches as she meets a slightly weary gaze. Wait, is she sleeping on him? Holy crap. That's cute. She feels his... Oh, I read that. Zane? The morning light filters through the curtains and falls onto his tousled hair. Looking into those eyes, she can tell that familiar Zane has returned. He's back! I guess we could tell as well because he's smiling. They did change his expression. I'm glad he's back. That was cute. Joy wells up inside her as she waves her hand in front of her. Are you finally awake from your nightmare? He nods, and as he stretches his neck, she can see the black ice on his body has completely disappeared. We're actually back to normal.
다른 표현은 없어?
Isn't there another way to say that? Before he can say more, she embraces him. He doesn't pull away and gently wraps his arm around her waist. Congratulations, I'm the first person you saw when you woke up. God. They're so cute, you guys.
어제 악몽 속 이서원 때문에 힘들었어?
When I was in that night, because of my nightmarish state, was it hard? You were cold, distant, and had an unpredictable temper. You were even a little childish. That was still you, wasn't it? I'll just think of it as seeing another side of you.
네 말투에서 왜 약간 아쉬운 기색이 느껴지는 거지?
Why do I hear a hint of disappointment in your... Seeing that cold and willful side of Zane, even for one night, reminded her of when they barely knew each other. That's true. He was a lot more distant to protect her. Also because, you know, autistic. She feels at ease as everything falls into place. A moment passes and she looks into his eyes again. How much do you remember about yesterday? Zane rubs his temples and sits up.
좀 흐릿하긴 한데
A little hazy,
대부분 기억나.
but I remember most of it. Including how you froze my electronic devices and hand to the wall, and how you even told me not to be nosy. Is he guilty? He glances away for a moment before his calm gaze calmly returns to her.
그리고 네가 이불로 나를 감싸고 당근 주스로 나를 떠본 것도 포함해서.
And including how you piled blankets on me and tested me with carrot juice. Your memory is impeccable. So when did these nightmares start?
장화실에서 돌아온 뒤부터 악몽이 잦아졌어.
After we returned from Chansha City, these nightmares found me.
꿈에서는 늘 내가 누군지, 지금 뭘 해야 하는지를 잊어버려.
And in the dreams, I always forget who I am and what I'm supposed to be.
꿈속에 내가 따로 해야 할 일이 있거든.
Because the me in my dreams has his own mission to complete. He presses his lips into a thin line and looks at her, the guilt he feels. For some reason, the scene from last night flashes through her mind again. It stirs up emotion she can't quite name. That must also be really hard for him, right? Because if you think about it, like, he's a doctor and Dawnbreaker is a killer. So even if Dawnbreaker's victims are, you know, a teller, I forgot how to pronounce their name already. They're still people. So that must be traumatizing, actually. Well, there's no more black ice on your neck and hand. Your palms are warm too. It's safe to say that you passed the physical examination. Welcome back to reality, Zane. She opens her arms and waits for him to initiate the hug this time. Zane hesitates before leaning down. He wraps his arms around her. His warm breath brushes again.
좋은 아침이야.
Good morning. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. I can see why, like, some people probably had a hard time going from Silas's, like, chapter onto this. I'm fine because I'm used to, you know, the whiplash that you get in Demon sometimes with this kind of stuff. But, oh, Alterum, that's what they're called. But, yeah, I understand. Because she and Zane are, like, super cozy. Like, way, way cozy. Before taking Zane home, he accompanies her to the association. She's going to update them on her progress in the Alterum investigation. Dawnbreaker vanished overnight. Some people on the forums joked that he had been broken by the dawn. Oh my god. The police investigation has hit a dead end, and the relentless snowfall is still the biggest obstacle for gathering evidence of the crime. While waiting for Zane to finish shopping, she sits in the car and looks at today's news.
앞서 아테에셈 프로젝트를 공개했던 에버그룹이 프로젝트의 첫 단계인 발 요양원 프로젝트를 발표했습니다.
Ever, which announced the Fountain of Ate initiative, has revealed that the first phase of the project, the Val Sanatorium.
발 요양원에서는 신생의 고치라는 이름의 의료 캡슐을 이용하여 고병 환자들을 치료하고 있다고 합니다.
Oh, that's their hint. Their clue. According to several reports, Val Sanatorium is using medical pods called Rebirth cocoons to treat patients. It's probably not a real treatment. So it's exactly what they're doing, what was happening on Skyhaven, right? They said that they were treating these people, but they were actually using them for their experiment. Experimentation just never ends, does it? Rebirth cocoons? Her mind quickly latches onto this word. She heard this term yesterday.
당신 말이 맞아.
What you say is right.
그들은 고체에서 나온 뒤에 전부 그렇게 죽었어.
After they came out from their cocoon, they all died like that.
고체에서 산송장 같은 괴물이 되느니 차라리 죽는 게 나아.
Rather than let the cocoon turn me into a mindless monster, I'd rather die. Cocoons the Altera mentioned must be these. Sensing her troubled thoughts, the white creature pushed her fluffy self from the back seat to settle on her lap. Are you trying to comfort me? Thank you. When Zane woke up, she'd asked about the animal. He said it belonged to some distant relatives. How about that? As for why he... wait. If Zane made up a lie like that rather than just saying he doesn't know, I think he knows who this animal is. As for why he got lost, stole her scarf, and refuses to leave Zane's side, Zane says he's not sure. So, what kind of creature are you? She decides to take out her phone and uses it image recognition feature. Wait, can we see it, please? As the screen refreshes, it shows a majestic... You guys! Is that why they reran that myth card recently? It's the Baiza! The divine beast of antiquity, known all beneath heaven and earth. Holy shit, it's Baiza! Oh my gosh, all of these different Zanes are converging. It's from the myth where she had a raccoon family. With trembling hands, she cups his face. Her gaze travels from his clear eyes to the tiny horns protruding like fresh sprouts near his ears. Oh, it's definitely a Baiza. Okay. Holy crap. is happening? Wait, how does this... Oh man, I need Angel to explain this part to me. As she struggles to find the right words, Zane returns to the car. He has a bag of chocolates and dog food. Since you bought dog food, why don't you keep him? After all, your robot vacuum is the only other living thing in your house. Didn't it have a friend? It's not a living thing, is it?
아니야. 우리 집 로봇 청소기도 자기 자리가 있거든.
No, my robot vacuum has its own life. I love him. He's so cute. He's so funny. Through the windshield, the warm glow of their headlights cuts through the heavy, snowy gloom. A figure is looking around while standing near Zane's house. It's a young boy in plain clothes. He's holding books in his arms. Ah! It's him! The kid. As soon as they get out of the car, the boy's face lights up with excitement and anticipation. He spreads his arms wide. Forgotten, the books fall to the ground. Who is this child? That's adorable. Oh my god.
신원자님!
Emissary! Oh my god, hug. Please hug. Please let there be a hug. I think there was a hug. Man, this is so good. I am living. The unfamiliar teenager rushes towards Zane, who's standing behind. Oh, he's a teenager! Why did I think he was younger? The mysterious little creature wagging its tail runs over as well. Soon enough, all three of them are tangled in a group hug! Oh my god! There is a hug! It's so cute! You guys, I'm dying. I'm dying at my mental image because they won't show it on the screen. Someone draw this, please. I need art.
일단 이거 놔.
First, let go. The teenager steps back. Then he excitedly scoops up the small animal. Why did I say dead?
네가 먼저 와 있었구나. 그럼 나한테 말했어야지.
So that's where you went. Why didn't you tell me first? Watching this harmonious scene between human and animal, she's touched, but then she quickly becomes confused. Whose kid is this? I just wanted to use that line because it implies, is it yours? Zane has a secret child.
저는...
Zane guides the boy behind him.
먼 친척집 아이인데 평소에 SF 영화랑 애니메이션을 좋아해. 요즘에는 가출이 취미고.
Zane definitely knows who they are. Zane, what do you know?
먼 친척집 아이인데
A distant
평소에
relative.
SF 영화랑 애니메이션을 좋아해.
He loves sci-fi movies
요즘에는
and
가출이 취미고.
anime. His hobby is running away from home.
그리고 이 녀석의 주인이기도 해.
And he's the master of that thing. He leans down to get a better look at the boy. He has delicate features and appears to be around 11 or 12 years old. Oh, so he's not a teenager. Okay. Do you live in Lincoln too?
그런 셈이죠.
Something like that.
저는 프랙털 도서관...
I live in the Fractal Library. Fractal Library! That's what it is! Oh my gosh. I really messed up the word earlier. Huh?
근처 동네에 살아요.
I live in the neighborhood. What is happening? What is happening? Zane, what are you not telling us? The Fractal Library? I've never heard of it before. Is it a new building? Knowing he's related to Zane, she finds herself adopting a gentler, friendlier tone. Is this little guy your pet? What breed? Actually, what kind of animal is it?
그냥 흔한 강아지예요.
He's just a
혈통
dog.
같은 건 없고요.
Nothing special.
17아, 짖어봐.
Picha, bark. Okay, that's kind of close.
잘못 짖었잖아.
The right sound. There we go, Mung.
됐어.
Alright,
이제 손 줘.
that's enough. Now shake. The small creature glances at her and then at Zane. He swallows his pride and places his paw in the boy's palm. Zane stands by the wall with his arms crossed. When he sees her skeptical look, he looks away. The boy's face relaxes with relief as his expression shifts to one that says, I told you so. Can you speak? Maybe I'm the one losing my mind here. Seemingly unable to watch any longer, Zane waves his phone.
방금 얘 부모님한테 메시지 왔는데
I just got a
곧
message from his
데리러
parents.
온대.
They're coming to pick him up soon. Already? Can't you stay for a while longer?
원래는 오래 머물 생각이었.
I was planning to stay for a while originally. Zane's sharp gaze sweeps over the boy. You might be imagining things, but the child and the dog are free.
맞아요. 인사만 하고 서원 삼촌한테 데려다 달라고 할 생각이었어요.
I just wanted to say hello, and then I was gonna have Uncle Zane send me home. Uncle Zane!
밖에 추우니까 먼저 들어가 있어.
It's cold
난 얘
outside,
데려다
so
주고
go
올게.
inside first. I'll see him off. What's happening? Zane, how do you know this kid? So he's met her before. Was it in the story that we read? In the dim daylight, Zane watches the girl wave goodbye. She's out of sight when she closes the door behind her. The boy catches a snowflake in his palm and silently watches it melt.
네가 왜 여기 있어?
Why are you here? Hearing the scrutiny in Zane's voice, the boy's expression shifts to match its severity.
프랙털 도서관에서 일하겠다고 저랑 7년 전에 약속하셨잖아요. '저는 그 약속을 지켜주시길 부탁하러 왔습니다.
7 years ago, you said you would take up the position at the Fractal Library. You promised me. I traveled here so that you could fulfill that promise.
당신은 신원자로 선택받았죠. 이는 아스타의 뜻이며 당신의 악몽이 가장 확실한 증거입니다.
Shit. No! Fuck Astra! We don't like Astra. You were chosen to be the emissary of the divine. As Astra...
당신은 신원자로 선택받았죠. 이는 아스타의 뜻이며 당신의 악몽이 가장 확실한 증거입니다.
It is Astra's will. That's the word. Because I was like, I think there's a better word than this for it. It is Astra's will, and your nightmare is the proof of it. Zane speaks before the boy can say more.
하지만 그때도 말했다시피 나한테도 내 선택이란 게 있어.
And as I said
난
back
더
then, I have
중요한
my
일을
own
해야
choices.
해.
And there are things more important to me. The boy's expression grows serene, and his voice carries a maturity unlike the one from a few seconds ago.
그럼 악몽 속의 그 자신이 되는 것도 당신의 선택의 일부였나요?
Then, was becoming that version of yourself in the nightmare also a deliberate choice?
많은 경우 사람들은 스스로 선택을 했다고 생각하지만 그 선택지들이 결국 하나의 필연적인 결과로 이어질 것임을
Majority of the
인지하지
time, people
못하고
think they're
있죠.
making choices, but they're not aware that these options lead to one inevitable outcome.
운명이 한 사람에게 내려올 땐 마치 이 눈처럼 조용하고도 은밀하게 찾아와요.
Fate falls upon us all. Like the snow, it is silent and inevitable.
당신도 마찬가지예요.
And you too will become. In the end, he trails off, and the only sound that can be heard is nothing more than a barely audible sound.
아직 결정을 내리지 못하셨다면
Since you haven't
더 이상
decided,
제가 여기에 머물 의미도 없겠군요.
there's no point in me staying here any longer.
다만
But the maturity and composure vanish as the boy's voice shifts back to a childlike tone.
저번에 만들어주셨던 통행 팔찌를 도서관 안에 두고 왔는데 다시 하나 만들어주시면 안 돼요?
I left the excesses bracelet you made for me at the library. Can't you make me another one? That's so cute. After a resigned sigh, an ice bracelet materializes around the boy's wrist.
고마워요 신원자님.
Thank you,
그만
emissary.
가보겠습니다.
I'll leave now.
아무튼 언제든 임천시 프랙털 도서관으로 저를 찾아오세요. 저도 또 인사드리러 올게요.
In any case, you can find me at the Fractal Library in Lincoln City. I'll visit you again as well. The boy slightly raises his and his fingertips touch the air as a geometric shape gradually unfolds. He bows before stepping into the door woven from the countless folded dimensions. Ooh.
신원자님 완전 거짓말쟁이에요. 저 진짜 날짜까지 세면서 7년을 기다렸다고요.
Oh my god. The emissary is a total liar. I counted every single day for 7 years. As if drawn to his accusation, the wind and the snow seemed to follow through the vanishing door. The voice acting is really good. I wonder who voices the boy. The voice sounds a little familiar. It's definitely a woman, but I don't know who. The snow ceases, and Zane remembers the first time he entered the fractal library. Ooh, yay! Even though it's called a library, its exterior was remarkably ordinary. It was a building nestled in a quiet corner of Lincoln City's silent street. Is that what we read in the fractal library? I remember when we were reading that, I was trying to figure out who was who, and I thought the person maintaining it was Zane, but the person might have been the boy. The young, because when the guest arrived, we were like, oh, maybe that's Zane because he had a lot of similarities. The young boy begged him again and again, so he pushed open the slightly weathered wooden door. I wonder if this is the same backdrop that they used for the library in his myth. There were neither bookshelves nor defined boundaries, and instead an endless garden with intertwined paths appeared before him. And a library that seemed to belong to another world stood at the point where those paths converged. As soon as Zane stepped onto the backlight, he raised his head and saw countless bookshelves. They reached toward a tower summit where sunlight poured in. Library shelves were endless. They were like stairs that led to another dimension. Then a young person approached them and claimed that Zane and the young boy were the administrators of this. In addition, Zane was destined to become the fractal library's owner. That's kind of cool. But, yeah, administrators, that's the word that was used. The young person told him that the fractal library, which stood at the intersection of the dimension, didn't really exist in any galaxy. It didn't belong to any civilization either. And each book in the library contained the fate of a world. Zane wondered if his own fate was among them. No, you can't check because then you're gonna get tortured by Astra. Perhaps his nightmares were hidden within a page of these large volumes the moment he opened the door. On the night he returned home from the library, Zane had a different. In that unfamiliar world, he wore robes as he walked in a very tall tower. He was leaping through an ancient. That's definitely from the first myth. Between the pages lay a jasmine petal from a spring day, and that spring day belonged to a timeline he had erased with his. It would forever remain Oh my god. No. Oh, the story. I'm getting emotional. Shoulder to shoulder. Just as Zane enters the house, she finishes roasting the. When she glances out the window, she realizes the snow finally stopped. Did your relative leave already? He must have a strict family.
집에 가서 반성문 써야 할걸.
He needs to go home and write his reflection. There's a distant quality to Zane's voice. She sits down beside him and holds out one of the roasted tangerines. The weather is perfect for roasted tangerines. Try it. He stares at her for a long time, before finally eating.
내가 사라졌던 며칠 동안 무슨 일이 있었는지 정말 안 물어볼 거야?
You're really not going to ask me about what happened these past 2 days? If the explanation is going to be filled with medical jargon, then no. As for the rest, Zane will tell me when he wants to, and if he doesn't want to, that's his. He can't help but smile at her deliberate emphasis on those last words. He takes the half-peeled tangerine from her hand. So does she overhear everything? Soon after, a warm orange slice is brought to her.
3일 전 너와 작별한 건 이찬의 초대를 받아서야.
3 days ago, when we separated, I had accepted Carter's invitation. I
원래
received
아테의
Carter's
샘
invitation.
프로젝트에 참여할 생각이었어.
I'll be joining the Fountain of Ate research project. Wait, what? I thought he was opposed to Ever. Wait. Oh, maybe it's an undercover mission. Like he's infiltrating them. Because it just doesn't seem like Zane. Seeing her choke and cough several times, Zane raises his hand to pat her back.
그건 핑계일 뿐이야.
It's just an excuse.
단지 예상치 못한 일이 생겼고 내 계획보다 먼저 악몽이 다가온 거야.
Something unexpected happened. And before I could carry out my plans, the nightmare arrived.
최근 아케소에서는 특별한 코어병 환자들을 많이 받아들이고 있어.
These days, Axel Hospital has received a large influx of unusual cases involving Protocore syndrome.
그중 일부는 입원 후 얼마 지나지 않아 사망했고 또 어떤 이들은 한 달 내에 완전히 변해서
Some died shortly after hospitalization. Others transformed within a month and became. Zane nods.
이 환자들은 모두 발요양원에서 회복했어. 그리고 그곳에 신생의 꽃이라는 의료 캡슐에 들어갔었고
All these patients had recovered at Val Sanatorium after entering a medical pod called the Rebirth. Val Sanatorium, according to the news report this morning, first phase of the Fountain of.
이찬이 나한테 에버가 곧 새로운 신생의 꽃이 의료 캡슐의 효과를 공개하는 발표회를 열 거라고 알려줬어.
Carter said that Ever will soon hold a press conference to demonstrate the Rebirth cocoon's effectiveness to the public. Wouldn't that mean more unsuspecting protocore syndrome patients will go to Val Sanatorium?
그렇게 놔둘 순 없어.
We can't let them do that.
나는 에버의 계획을 막고 싶어. 단순히 코어병 환자들을 위해서만이 아니라
I want to stop Ever's, and it's not just for the protocore syndrome patient. Zane trails off as he lowers his.
나는 하나의 실수를 바로잡고 싶어.
Want to make amends for.
오래전에 바로잡았어야 했지만 지금까지도 여전히 지을 수 없는 실수를.
It was something that happened years ago, but it's a mistake that haunted me. She realizes that for Zane, this carries a greater, more.
분명 나는 예전에도 말없이 떠난 적이 있지만
I know I disappeared without a word before, but he used the nickname? He said girlfriend? Holy shit. I really should put it in Korean so that he actually voices that line.
이번에는 나랑 함께 해줄래?
Will you come with me this? That's so different from before. I love watching their growth and development over. Asking me like this isn't fair. She knows that he helped her so many times before, and she'd agree to any request he makes. Just still need a reason. Now that he's finally revealing everything to her, she won't let him have his way so easily. What's in it for me? The whereabouts of the Ether Core, dirt on Ever, or more leads about this biometric key? A few sweet words aren't enough to make risk my life with you. I need a more convincing reason. I need a more tempting reason. Wait. Pick a second one. Seems sussy. She taps his chest. Do you have anything else that might interest me?
너랑 같이 가고 싶어.
Because I want you to come with me. Ah, that was good. I wonder if he says the same thing each time, but that was good. He grabs her wrist and gently moves his hand to press fingers into his.
그리고 내가 부탁하면 네가 같이 가줄 거라고 믿었어.
And because I believe that if I ask you, you'll do it. Dazed, she sees something flicker out of the corner of her eye, a fluffy white tail. Zane and she turn around at the same time. Ichi, aren't you supposed to be with your owner? Oh shit. Crouched near the robot vacuum, Ichi whimpers. Those clear, innocent round eyes look at her first and then.
넌 안 데려갈 거니까 집을 지켜.
We're not taking you with us, so take care of the house. In the white testing facility, a row of circular medical pods lines the room. Surrounded by soft silvery light, they float in the air. Their translucent walls gleam with tranquility. Exquisite and graceful like meticulously crafted chrysalises, they pulse and contract with the rhythm of beating hearts. At any moment, it seems their contents might break free and soar toward the sky. What exactly were we fighting then? The next day. After driving west on the highway for 2 hours, patches of green vegetation finally appear amidst the desolate landscape. Looking through the window, she can see the distinct distant dome of Val Sanatorium loom in morning mist. After yesterday's events, they decided to tour the sanatorium as visitors to Fountain of Atay, the Rebirth Cocoon, press conference. None of these were tackled. My god, I am not able to read right now. Okay. Death was her being almost killed. The death attempt against her. And I guess Rebirth is about the Rebirth Cocoon. However, they can assess the situation first before planning their next. Are we almost there? She feeds the last cookie to Zane as he drives. He nods and takes a moment to gather his thoughts before... Cute. Eating
너한테
it.
꼭 말해야 할 것이 있어.
There are things I must tell you.
신생의 고체에서 사용된 기술은 나랑 이찬이 대학 시절 연구했던 과제에서 비롯된 거야.
The technology used in the Rebirth cocoon is from a research project Carter and I worked on when we were in medical. I do remember something about that.
그때 나는 방 교수님 영향과 내 의지대로 심장병 치료에 코어를 활용하는 걸 연구하기 시작했어.
Back then, I began researching the application of protocors in implantable devices since it was something I was interested in personally and under Dr. Noah's guidance.
처음엔 연구가 순조롭게 진행됐어.
At first, the
실험
research
단계에
progressed
들어가기
smoothly,
전까지는.
but when we started experiments,
더 이상 진행하면 안 돼요.
we can't keep researching this.
코어 에너지가 이 심장을 완전히 침식했어요. 우리의 실험은 실패했어요.
Protocore energy has completely corroded the heart. Our experiment failed.
근데 심장이 다시 뛰기 시작했잖아.
But the heart started beating
검은
again,
결정이 좀 생기긴 했지만
even if it grew some black crystal. Wow, Carter! I don't like
그거
Carter.
알아? 방금 코어를 이식한 실험쥐가 유랑체로 변해서 동족을 잡아먹었어.
Did you know the lab mouse we performed a protocore implant surgery on transformed into a wanderer and devoured its fellow test subjects?
서은아, 우리 실험은 실패한 게 아니야.
Our
성공한
experiment wasn't
거라고.
a failure. It was a success. How is that a success, Carter? Oh my god.
우리는 인류가 미래에 가질 수 있는 새로운 생명 형태를 발견한 거야.
We've discovered humanity's next evolutionary form. Carter is a psycho.
오늘 저녁에 학교 앞 꼬치집에 가서 실컷 먹자.
Okay, when we get back near the campus tonight, let's go to that barbecue place or bullshit. Oh my god, Carter.
실험에서 얻은 건 신생이 아니라 인간을 유랑체로 코어의 꼭두각시로 만드는 거였어.
The experiment did not offer a new life. It turned people into wanderers, minions of a protocore.
열어선 안 될 상자였다는 거야.
We never should have opened it.
그래서 그날 난 관련 데이터를 전부 파기했어.
I destroyed
그
all the
일이 영원히
related
묻히길
research data,
바랐거든.
and I wanted to keep this truth buried forever. But Carter didn't see it that way, huh?
선배는 그 기술에 X-하트라는 이름을 붙여서 샌드 메디컬로 가져갔어.
He called that method the X heart and took it to the Xander Sciences.
그리고 신생의 고치 의료 캡슐에 사용되어 아테SM 프로젝트의 첫 단계가 된 거야.
And then it was implemented in the Rebirth cocoon, first step in the Fountain of Youth. After finishing his story, Zane falls silent. However, his grip on the steering wheel indicates he's still caught in his memory. This is the mistake he wanted to make amends for. Not wanting him to dwell on the past, she clears her throat and lightens the mood. I used to think about how if we had gone to the same university, I would have dragged you out of to have fun every single day. Dude, girl, you would not have been able to go to the same university as him. Let's be real. Didn't he skip like a bunch of grades? Not to mention, even as a regular student, she's kind of dumb. You'd watch the flowers bloom in spring, enjoy the summer rain, collect autumn leaves, have snowball fights in winter. But based on what I heard, you must have been too busy to do any of that with me.
아니야. 실험실에선 데이터 돌릴 때 나가서 4시간 정도 머리 식히고 다시 와서 결과를 보는 게 좋다고들 말했어.
In our lab, we always said it would be best to take a 4-hour break. And during that time, while the data is being collected, you could see the results after.
그러니까 적어도 그 시간 동안은 나도 여유 있었을 거야.
So, even if only for a little while, during those times, I would have been available. Come on,
농담이야.
a joke.
네가 있었다면 어떻게든 시간을 뺐을 거야.
If you were there, I would have always made time. God. The car turns onto a newly paved road, passes a sign that reads Val Sanatorium, and stop in the park.
요양원 내부 상황은 나도 잘 모르니까 이번 참관 때 위험한 일이 생기면 절대 혼자 행동하지 마.
I'm also not familiar with the sanatorium's interior layout. If you encounter any danger during this visit, remember not to go in alone. Don't worry, I'm a professional. Oh god, that sounds like Kathy. Danger, danger, get her a leash. While she speaks, she catches a glimpse of White approaching them. Oh no. Oh god. Okay. I thought it was the dog and he had snuck along. Or not, sorry, not dog. Baizu. Carter, who's there to receive, wears a casual white business suit. Only a navy blue butterfly pin adorns his collar.
서원아, 오래 기다렸어?
Lona, have you been waiting a long time? Yeah, I'm a
아니요.
professional.
방금 도착했어요.
No, we just arrived. Carter leans down toward the car window. Upon seeing her, his eyes crinkle and his smile widens.
서원이가 전화로 두
Creep.
명이 온다길래 둘이 같이 올 거라고 예상했어요.
He's such a creep. When Zane called me and said that he would be needing, or two people would be coming, I had a feeling that you'd be the one to accompany him. She composes herself, smiling politely. She steps out of the car, but just as she's about to speak,
인사는 생략하고 안으로 안내해 주시죠.
let's get past the pleasantries and head inside. I think Zane's trying to protect her. He probably knows about Carter's interest in her heart. Following Carter, they enter the long corridor that connects the parking lot to the sanatorium's lobby. Her gaze falls on the emblem at the entrance. Under the curved shape are the following: Eternity vanquishes evolutionary restraint. Those are words, I guess. Without a doubt, this is Ever's logo. Carter activates the scanner and a white light immediately seeps over Zane and her. A cheerful electronic female voice speaks.
방문객 신원 인증 완료. 이서원.
Visitor identification verified. Isan Young.
환영합니다. 저는 발 요양원의 스마트 제어 시스템.
I knew Cappy would say something after she said that. Yeah. I am Telomere, the AI management system of Val Sanatorium. Welcome to our facility.
발 요양원에서 희망찬 하루 보내시기 바랍니다.
We hope that you'll have a good day here at the sanatorium. The doors slide open and they enter the first floor lobby of Val Sanatorium. Pristine white surrounds them. The ceiling is unadorned, its white surface seamlessly integrated with the recessed lighting system along its edges. Beneath their feet, a gentle light bathes the white marble floor and illuminates every corner. This place seems
밝은데 숨 막히지?
bright, but suffocating. Yeah. Pristine, silent, and unchanging. It's as if time itself stands still within the... In this environment, Zane and she stand out like two stains on an otherwise white canvas. A few doctors in white lab coats pass them. Although they're quietly discussing patients' medical conditions, they nod in Carter's direction.
서원이 네가 직접 방문 신청을 했으니까 당연히 내가 안내해줘야지.
Since Zane personally asked me for a visitor clearance, I should give you a proper tour. Side by side, they follow Carter as he leads them to the reception desk in the center of the hall.
아테의 셈에 드디어 흥미가 생겼나 보네.
I see the fountain of Ate
한 달
caught your
동안
attention.
너한테 전화한 보람이 있어.
So all of those phone calls over the past month weren't in vain.
근데 궁금하긴 해.
But I'm curious.
참여하기로 마음을 바꾼 이유가 뭐야?
What's the reason that you changed your mind? Carter stops in his tracks by the reception desk. He turns around, his signature smile returning with narrowed eyes.
선배가 전화로 수없이 얘기했던 인류의 미래가 과연 올지 보고 싶어서요.
I wanted to see what you meant when you talked about humanity's future.
그리고
And?
엑스 하트를 나보다 잘 아는 사람도 없으니까요.
There's nobody who knows X-Heart better than me. Carter's eye twitches. After a long silence, he suddenly erupts into a fit of laughter and shatters the lobby's tranquility.
좋아, 아주 좋아.
Good, very good.
이해했어.
I understand.
누구한테든 후회를 되돌릴 기회는 있어야지.
Everyone
이
deserves a
기회는
second chance.
내가 준 거다, 서원아.
And remember, I am giving you this chance.
그럼 헌터 아가씨는요?
And Miss Hunter? When she receives this question, she delivers her carefully prepared response. Since Zane is joining the research project, I wanted to see what it's all about. Carter tilts his head. His gaze splits between Zane and her before settling on Zane. The amusement in his eyes is obvious.
알겠다. 아무리 견고한 사랑이라도 물질적 기반이 있어야 하는 법이지.
Oh.
좋은 자리 하나 알아봐 줄게.
I see. In any case, even the strongest love needs a solid foundation. He uses the word love. I'll make sure you get a good position. He turns around and shakes the brochure stand next to him. The neatly arranged brochures scatter in disarray, and he pulls out 2 copies with a smile. He gives them to me.
이곳의 유일한 단점은 너무 규칙적이라는 거야.
But if there is a downside, it's that this place is too by the book.
그게 서은이 너한텐 단점으로 느껴지지 않겠지만
But I'm sure that you won't even feel any difference. It's about complicated medical cases. The thin booklet methodically categorizes various diseases that conventional medicine has yet to cure. It's like a university department, and the facility's patients are eager students with a thirst for knowledge. A commotion breaks out in the distance. She looks up. It's a group of elegantly dressed visitors being led into the lobby by a receptionist. They're being guided upstairs for it. On the staircase leading to the second floor, several patients in white hospital gowns are walking down the steps. She expected to see many high-profile figures in this place, but even then, she never thought she'd see her. Karin, who's 43 years old, is a war correspondent. She won numerous prestigious journalism awards. She spent years reporting from the front lines, faced countless life-threatening situations, and has earned a large amount of respect in society. A year ago, she was attacked by a wanderer, got protocore syndrome, and rarely appeared in public. She'd met her a few times at Oxo Hospital. She heard that she was also one of Zane's.
이 교수님, 오랜만이네요.
Dr. Lee, it's been a while. Noticing them, she comes over to say hello. Zane acknowledges her with a slight.
도요사님,
Miss Karen. Someone of her caliber chose ever. Probably the best endorsement they could ask for.
저분이 아케소를 떠날 때만 해도 수명이 2달도 채 안 남았었다고 들었어.
I heard that when she left Oxo Hospital, she had less than 2 months to live.
딸이 막 엄마란 말을 배웠을 때 너희 병원에서 사망 선고를 내렸잖아. 잔인하기도 하지.
Her daughter had just learned to say mama when you handed her a death sentence. How cruel.
이 박사님, A504 병실 손님에 관한 일인데요.
Dr. Carter, the patient in room A504. Carter gestures for them to wait a moment, then he takes a few steps to discuss something with the man at the front. Noticing her silence, Zane stops in his.
무슨 생각해?
What are you thinking about? It's nothing. I just realized that Ever seems to have a knack for exploiting human vulnerabilities by any means necessary. How else could they gather people from different backgrounds and beliefs and make them devoted to a single cause?
사람들을 복종시킬 땐 이렇게 하면 천국에 간다라는 말보단 이렇게 안 하면 지옥 간다라는 말이 더 효과적이죠.
The key to obedience isn't promising heaven, using hell as a threat. He makes a much more complicated sentence. I don't feel like translating it right now, but I was thinking, because that's another reason I don't want to translate that right now, is because Ever is very much like a cult, right? This line really made me think it first. They have a knack for exploiting vulnerabilities to gather people from different backgrounds and beliefs and make them devoted to a single cause. But also, then it was followed up by this, and it feels even more cultic.
어쨌든 누구나 질병과 죽음을 두려워하니까요.
After all, who doesn't fear illness and death? Sorry, everyone. Footsteps accompanied by a familiar voice approaches behind.
헌터 아가씨, 또 보네요.
Miss Hunter, we meet again.
내 소개를 하죠. 발요양원 프로젝트의 책임자 장원입니다.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Benedict, the director of Val Sanatorium. Have we seen him before? From what she remembers, he had another identity. She met him at the place where an Alterum died. You're the detective who spoke to me that day. Oh my gosh. We have met him. No one, he was sus. I mean, we knew he was sus, but geez, he really was sus.
헌터 아가씨가 나를 기억하고 있다니 영광이네요.
My honor that you remembered me. He smiles, not with the embarrassment of someone whose identity has been exposed, but with the composure of a performer, waiting for the audience's reaction to a grand reveal. You're not Linny. Sorry. Alarm bells ring in her mind, but he quickly shifts his placid gaze to...
오랜만이군요. 프로젝트 합류를 환영합니다. 이 교수님.
It's been a while. Welcome onto the project, Dr. Lee. Okay, so that was the end of the third part. We'll finish up with the last part next time, Friday. A lot of the threads are coming together, especially in this chapter, but I still don't understand a lot, so we'll see. We'll see how they end this and if it's gonna be like another crazy cliffhanger. I wonder if Raphael and Xavier will be the feature for the next update. Thank you for joining me today, everybody.